So you want to start earning online in 2026? You are in exactly the right place. We've put together this freelance starter kit to break down exactly how you can get going.
Look, maybe you're between jobs right now, or you just feel like you don't have the right experience to start making money for yourself. That's a super common feeling, but it's exactly what we're going to tackle today.
And here's the good news, you can absolutely earn a real living online, even if you're starting from scratch. In fact, it is more possible right now than it has ever been.
What's really cool is that thousands of beginners are already doing this. They're working with just a laptop and an internet connection. No office, no boss, and a lot of the time, no special degree. This is a huge shift in how work gets done.
So this new way of working is called freelancing. But what does that actually mean? Let's break it down.
At its core, it's incredibly simple. Freelancing just means you're working for yourself instead of for one single company. You sell your skills directly to clients online, and they pay you for each project you do. Simple as that.
So the key difference is this. Instead of working for a company for a fixed salary, you work for yourself. You get paid per project, which means you are your own boss. Here's a really easy way to picture it. A business needs a new logo, right? It's almost always faster and cheaper for them to just hire a freelancer for that one specific task. And guess what? That freelancer, that can totally be you.
Okay, theory is one thing, but let's make this real. Let's look at a concrete, real-world example of how this actually works.
To really show you how this works, we're going to follow a simple case study of a freelancer we'll just call Ali. Now, Ali's process is the perfect blueprint because it's so simple. He didn't start with some super complex skill. No, he chose an easy-to-learn tool called Canva. Then, he found a huge need in the market, YouTubers who need good thumbnails. From there, it was all about finding those first few clients.
So how does he actually turn this into income? Well, he uses a really smart strategy. Instead of charging the average price, which is around 20 bucks, he starts at just $5. This super low price makes it a no-brainer for people to hire him and helps him build a portfolio fast.
And the math here is beautifully simple. By getting just 5 clients a day at that $5 starting price, he's making $25 a day. It's the consistent start of a real business.
And this is where it all clicks. Because as Ali gets faster and builds his reputation, he can raise his price to $10. Now that $25 a day becomes $50. And suddenly, hitting a goal like $1,500 a month, all from home, is completely achievable. That is the power of freelancing.
So that's Ali's story, which is great for him. But what about you? What skills could you offer right now, today? Let's check out some of the most popular starting points.
You know, the barrier to entry here is way lower than you probably think. You don't need to be a coding genius or a marketing wizard. You can start with simple but really valuable skills like Canva design, writing blog posts, basic video editing, managing social media accounts, or even simple data entry. Businesses need help with all of this stuff every single day.
And this is a really crucial mindset shift. You do not need to be perfect to start. The goal isn't to be an expert on day one. Nope. The goal is just to start simple, deliver good work, and build your skills from there.
All right, let's talk about what makes this the 2026 Starter Kit. It is the AI-powered advantage, and this is your secret weapon. See, smart freelancers work smarter, not just harder. They use AI tools as force multipliers. For example, using ChatGPT to outline a blog post in seconds, or Canvas AI to generate 5 different design ideas instantly. These tools don't replace your skill, they supercharge it. So what's the direct benefit of using all these tools? It's simple. They help you work faster. A task that used to take an hour, like designing a social media post from scratch, might now take you just 15 minutes. You're leveraging technology to get way more done in less time. And that speed leads directly to more income. I mean, the equation is simple. Speed lets you serve more clients, and more clients means you earn more money. It's a direct line from efficiency to profit.
So we've covered the what, the how, and the tools that give you a serious edge. Now the only question left is the one you have to answer for yourself. What skill will you sell first?
All right, so you're thinking about jumping into the world of freelancing, right? You've heard all the stories about freedom and flexibility, but here's the thing. So many of us get stuck right at the very beginning, before we even make a single dollar. So let's dive into that. Let's figure out why that happens. Does this question hit a little too close to home? You know you've got skills, you know you want this, but when it comes time to actually do something, you're just frozen.
And you're not alone. It's this analysis paralysis that stops so many talented people in their tracks.
Well, guess what? We are going to fix that right here, right now. This whole explainer is about cutting through all that noise and giving you a super simple, clear path to finally launch your freelance career.
So first up, let's put a name to the enemy: freelancer paralysis. You know, it's that feeling of being totally overwhelmed by all the options, all the advice, everything you could be doing, that you just end up doing nothing.
Okay, this is probably the most important rule of the whole thing. If you only remember one piece of advice, please let it be this. Focus on one thing, one skill, one platform, one goal. Trying to be a master of everything is honestly the fastest way to burn out before you even get started.
And believe me, you're going to see a ton of options out there. You've got great platforms like Fiverr, which is amazing for beginners, and then you've got Upwork, Freelancer, and so on. But the sheer variety is the trap. Your job isn't to be everywhere. It's to pick one. Seriously, just one. That's it.
All right, so we've identified the big hurdle. Now, what you really need is a map. A dead simple, step-by-step plan that's going to take you from zero to your very first client. No fluff, just pure action.
And look, the plan is actually so much simpler than you think. Step 1, pick one skill. Not 5, not 10, just one. Step 2, create just 2 or 3 little samples of your work. That's it. That's all you need to show what you can do. Step 3, slap together a simple, clean profile on that one platform you chose. And step 4, and this is the absolute key, you gotta post your gigs or apply to jobs every single day. Consistency is so much more important than perfection.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. Is it really that simple? Well, check this out. This is a real story. Somebody used a free tool, Canva, made 3 quick thumbnails, put them up on Fiverr, and bam, they got their first order in just 1 week. This isn't some crazy dream. It's what happens when you just follow the map.
Okay, so knowing what to do is half the battle. The other half? Knowing what not to do. Let's talk about the common traps that trip up almost every new freelancer.
These are the big 4 killers. First, waiting to be perfect. That'll keep you on the sidelines forever. Second, not posting daily. You just lose all your momentum. Third, giving up way too early. So many people quit right before they're about to get a bite. And finally, bad communication. I mean, responding slowly or just not being professional can sink your reputation before you even get started.
And this right here, this sums up the mindset shift you absolutely have to make. The trap is thinking you need a perfect portfolio and years of experience. The winning strategy? Just start. Start fast and get better along the way. Your first project isn't going to be your masterpiece, and that is totally okay. The goal is to start, not to be perfect.
So what does this actually look like day to day once you get going? Let's paint a picture of where you're headed, a sustainable winning routine where you're the one in control.
You know, a typical freelance day doesn't have to be complicated. It can look something like this. In the morning, you handle all your communications, reply to clients super fast. In the afternoon, you do the deep work, the actual service you're providing. And in the evening, you invest in yourself. You learn something new, you get better. No boss looking over your shoulder, no painful commute, just flexibility and focus.
And why does all this matter? Well, because this isn't some passing fad you're chasing. Freelancing is a massive and growing part of the global economy. More and more companies are looking for skilled freelancers every single day, which means the door is wide open for people just like you.
All right, let's bring it all home. We're going to strip away all the noise, all the excuses, and boil it down to what you actually need to take that first step.
And honestly, this is the most empowering part. You do not need a bunch of money to start. You do not need a fancy college degree. What you do need are these 3 things: an internet connection, one skill you can offer, and the consistency to show up and do the work every day. That's it. That is the real recipe.
So I'm going to leave you with this one question. Forget about next month, forget about next week. Right now, what is the one skill you can pick, the one simple action you can take to finally begin your journey today?